it says New York becomes the first state to launch virtual COVID passport. Critics call it totalitarian. And I also think, like they say here, that it's a government overreach. Um, I think the government, for now, they say it's not mandatory. They say it's only for those who would like to participate. But I think as the time goes by, they might make it mandatory, especially in a case where they can see that it's becoming popular amongst the people, and the majority of the people are accepting it. But I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying I think this might happen, because it says here the free voluntary platform developed in partnership with IBM will use technology to confirm a recent negative PCR or antigen test results or proof of vaccination, to gain entry into businesses or venues that want to participate. It says something similar as well at the bottom here. It says the visual passport can be used by participating New Yorkers to gain entrance to theaters, stadiums, arenas, wedding receptions, catered events, and other social events in accordance with state guidelines. It did mention somewhere that this will not be mandatory, but I think these things might change as the time goes by, and they might change their mind and make this mandatory. That's why I also think that it's going to be a government overreach, that results in people being forced to do things that they don't want to do, because there are people now who haven't done any COVID test. They've never done a single test of COVID. And there are people who haven't been vaccinated for COVID, and who are not planning to be vaccinated for COVID for maybe religious reasons, or maybe they don't trust the vaccine because it was developed too quickly, or they just don't want it. I mean, they don't have to have a specific reason. It's a democratic country. If you don't want something, you don't have to explain yourself why you don't want it. Some might not want it because it's something that has newly been done. It hasn't been tested on, like, they want to see how other people are going to react to this. They want to see how this is going to affect people, what will be the side effects of the vaccine, so, and what happens to people who have allergies to certain things, what will happen to them. So people want to see for themselves first before they go for it, and that could be the reasons why they haven't taken the vaccine, or they're not planning to take it anytime soon. I mean, Dr. James White said he would take it maybe 5 years later. Can't really remember the tweet he made there, but he gave his reasons why, because based on the research that has been done, I think it goes along those lines. But yeah, that's what I wanted to speak about. And that, okay, this really does look like a government overreach. Although they say this is going to be an app used by people in social events or business events to check if someone has been vaccinated or tested negative for COVID. But I mean, what happens if these private events and private businesses, the people who are organizing it, decide to make it mandatory, decide to deny access to certain people because they haven't been vaccinated, or there is no evidence that they have ever tested for COVID? Because I think this would require a very, very recent test of COVID, not a test that you did a year ago, not a test that you did 6 months ago. It must be recent. But yes, and it also, that's all that I wanted to speak about. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. We do an analysis of events from a Christian perspective. Yes, thank you very much.